everybody. Welcome into another edition of Talking Fitchburg on this Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. Fitchburg. Yeah, guess I can't say Fitchburg as well as I used to. Jeremy Crosby still here, still rocking it every day. Boy, I love when Andrew can join me and get me out of these situations. But hope you had a wonderful day out there, folks. And it's a hot one, and it's going to get just hotter here. The next couple of days are going to be in the mid 90s. So let's gear up and be safe as we head out there. And we'll talk about staying safe during heat here coming up in the headlines today, along with a COVID-19 update here. As things get, again, things are opening up, but we can't forget that there's still a major community spread of COVID-19 here in Dane County. We'll break it all down for you in the headlines here coming up. And a busy show at that. We'll get your Fitchburg Road Construction update with Bill Balke. He'll give us an update on our three major road construction projects, with one almost at completion. You'll have to stay tuned to find out which one that is. And then we'll check in with my friend Andrea over at Hy-Vee. And June is Dairy Month, and I know things have been a little bit different this month. We haven't been able to do those breakfast on the farm pieces that happen across the state, but hey, we're still going to celebrate, and Andrea will break it all down for us coming up in our guest segment. But first, we do turn to your headlines, and we start with COVID-19. It's still out there. That's what I titled this. And it says here, we've moved into a new phase of Forward Dane plan, but that doesn't mean that COVID-19 virus has changed or that it has magically gone away. It's just as dangerous as it was all along. Here in Dane County, about 1 in 4 people with a positive test for the virus tell our contact tracers that they don't know where they got it from. This means that people are in our community are passing it on to others because they are asymptomatic carriers and pre-symptomatic or working or socializing while sick. This underscores the importance of taking action to prevent the spread of the virus by everyone. And they've got information out there talking about this that you can head out to the Public Health of Madison and Dane County. Speaking of that, they've put out different trends here. It says instead of the daily update, we're going to be sharing a post each weekday that shares a bit more about the latest data here in Dane County. In case you missed it earlier this week, we've revamped how to share the numbers in number of cases by day. In addition to the new cases by day, we also share a 7-day average. It is easy to see a single day of 30 some cases and think, wow, what's about that? But the reality is that the number of cases jump around a great deal from day to day and for a variety of reasons. As you can see, we have seen a rise in cases since early May. Some of this is due to the people being out and about. A lot of it also has to do with a large increase in the number of testing. In April, we were averaging 293 tests per day. In May, the average went up to 837 tests per day. And in June so far, we're up to 1,263. So as you can see, the trend lines are kind of all over the place, and at least this gives you a better picture of what you're seeing here for testing. And speaking of testing has been expanded at Madison, or here in Madison, Dane County. The testing now will be open through late August 7th. 2020. So if you haven't already gotten a test or want to get a free test, you can head out to the Alliant Energy Center where they have the free COVID-19 community testing. That's at 1919 Alliant Energy Way here in Madison. And it runs Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, you get the extra time, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. No appointments or pre-registration is necessary. You've got the drive-through, bike up, or walk up, all free. No ID is needed, and there is translators on site as well as transportation. This is in coordination with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and the National Guard. All right, also coming in with hot temperatures now here in Wisconsin. It's a good time to talk about heat safety, and the first one is check the back seat of your car for your kids. 52 children died from heat stroke in the United States last year. 4 have died nationwide so far in 2020. Outside of crashes, heat stroke, the number one vehicle-related killer for children in the United States is those being left in a car. And what's most tragic is these all could have been prevented. Never leave a child in the car unattended. Make sure that you have get into the habit of looking in the back seat every time you exit the vehicle. If you see a child or a pet, for that matter, in a car, and make sure that they're okay. If they're not responsive, call 911 immediately. And if child appears to be okay, attempt to locate the parents and or alert security officials so they can get that kid out of the car. Very dangerous. Doesn't take very long for a car to heat up to a rate that is deadly. So we need to do our part and check the back seat of the vehicles. Be aware, and like I said, make that a habit, especially if you have kids and pets. All right, with extreme heat, want to quickly throw out a quick reminder on heat safety, and make sure that you stay safe out there. Signs of heat cramps during this time can be muscle pains or spasms, stomach ache, arms or legs aching. Action: you need to go inside to a cooler location, remove excess of clothing, take sips of cool sport drinks with salt and sugar. Get medical help if the cramps last more than an hour. Heat exhaustion includes heavy sweating, paleness, muscle cramps, tiredness, weakness, dizziness, headache, fainting, nausea, or vomiting. Same deal. You got to get out of the elements, go into an air conditioning area, lay down, loosen, and remove all clothing. Take a cool bath, take sips of cool water. If you're conscious, you're not conscious, you should contact or have get medical help right away. And if these symptoms worsen or last more than an hour, you gotta take action right away. And heat stroke, extremely high temperature, that means your body temp's above 103. Orally, it's you got hot or dry skin, no sweat, rapid or strong pulse, dizziness, confusion, or even unconsciousness. So call 911 immediately and get the person into a cool area, and do whatever you can until medical help arrives. We want you to stay safe out there during this time. All right, that does it for our headlines. Coming up next, we open up the digest. We're talking about your Fitchburg road construction update. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
You could be spreading the coronavirus without realizing you have it. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and do your part. It's important to limit in-person interaction with anyone outside of your immediate household, but phone and video chat are safe ways to connect. It's also important to limit any social gathering. This advice applies to people of any age, including teens and younger adults. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
¡Sam, Elmo!
Hola, Julia. ¿Estás lista para tocar con nosotros? Yo tocaré mi clarinete.
Y Elmo tocará su tambor. Tambor ruidoso.
Bueno, ya sabes qué hacer, Julia.
Julia sabe.
Dado el autismo de Julia, los sonidos pueden ser muy fuertes.
Y hace música a su manera. ¡A tocar!
La detección temprana del autismo puede hacer una diferencia de por vida. Conoce más sobre la detección temprana en detecciondeautismo.org.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today is your Director of Public Works, Bill Balke. Bill, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going, Jeremy?
Another day, another warm day, in fact, but I am doing very well and glad to have you on the show again here. It is your Fitchburg Road Construction Update. Bill, we've got great progress updates again, like you did last week here on the projects. We'll go right into the Fish Hatchery Road project, as that one is just cruising right along. And starting stage B here, tell us what happened starting on Monday here on Fish Hatchery Road and what we have for updates.
All right. On Monday, we had another traffic switch where you're now driving on the new concrete that's up there at Greenway Cross. And we're working on the south half of the intersection now. So we'll be working on that for the next 2.5 weeks in that area. And then we'll be opening up Greenway Cross and then closing down Post Road. And all the new traffic will be going up and down Greenway Cross at that intersection. So.
And will that continue down past in between Post Road and Post Road and Greenway Cross? Is that section that they've been working on? Will they have that paved soon, or what's the update there?
That one we're looking at getting that paved the middle toward the end of July. So by that date, we'll be driving on the new pavement up there all the way down to Traceway Drive with that schedule.
Perfect. And then Post Road will see a similar as far as closing one side, get it done, close the other side, get it done, and go from there. How does that one work?
With Post Road, actually, that one's going to be closed down altogether. So all the traffic on Post Road will be detoured up to up Index to Greenway Cross and use that intersection there so that we don't do a flip-flop down at Post Road. It'll all be done at one time, just as quick as we can get it done and opened up to traffic.
Yeah, and then just looking ahead here, Bill, besides curb and gutter installation and stuff, what will be happening here, finishing out the week going into next?
They're finishing up some of the utilities down by Traceway Drive. The sanitary sewer is getting completed up by Post Road in that area there between Post and Traceway. Curb and gutter will be coming down the road, following up after that, sidewalk as well. So over the next month, everything is just going to keep progressing to the south, and then we'll have that final paving done toward the middle of July, and then switching the traffic over after that.
All right, fantastic. We'll keep you up to date on any more traffic ships coming up here. But yeah, looking good, looking really good. Looking at that footage there. All right, transitioning on now over to McKee Road. That project continues on. You also had a traffic shift over there last week. What is the update on that project?
The area between Commerce and Seminole Highway, that will be in that configuration where you're driving on the north side of the road there for about 6 weeks in that range while they're working on the south side. During that construction time frame, they're going to be building the south bridge abutment for the overpass for the bike pathway. They'll be building the southbound or the south lanes in that area. And then like I said, in about 6 weeks, then they're going to be switching the traffic again and flipping it around, I guess you would say, and doing the north side.
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt. Is it going to be a lot of dirt moved into that area for the bridge for going across there, or how is that bridge going to come about?
It'll be similar to the construction that you saw for the Verona Road overpass down there at McKee. Where they're going to be building it up in lifts and putting those walls in place. So, they'll put a wall up, fill it in behind there, keep doing that over the course of the next couple of weeks. And before you know it, we'll be ready to be putting a bridge across the road. Man,
oh man, it's kind of crazy to think how fast that can go. A lot of earth movement in that area. I drove by there the other day to check it out, and it's moving along. Also, that pond at Seminole Highway, that turned out pretty good, Bill.
Yeah, we did expand that pond for some flooding issues that we've had in the area there. And we'll be working with our Parks Department or the Forestry Department and Stormwater Division to see what we can do about, landscaping that area so it doesn't look like, the moon, big hole in the moon.
It's a big crater.
That's what it does right now. We are going to, we'll have vegetation in there this fall, but we are working on a plan for what we can do to make it more, more appealing, I guess, on that corner.
Yeah, it's part one, we'll say, done on that. But when it's all finished up, the improvements there should help relieve some pressure that's been in that area for the water. Finally, my favorite project, because it's just been that way all this time, Fahey Glen, looks like the final layer of asphalt went down late last week.
Yep, that went down on Thursday. So right now they're finishing up the landscaping and then some pavement marking, and should be ready to go pretty soon here.
Yeah, I saw that they I don't know if they got more lights to put up in there, Bill, for utilities or something, or is it just minor cleanups now?
It's just minor cleanup. They've just got the landscaping to finish up there, and then the pavement marking. Then we'll be opening up to traffic. I'm not sure if it'll be this week, but possibly next week.
I was gonna say to finish off on here, the signs are up, so yeah, you can't be driving on there. I know it looks like it's done, but still making final adjustments on that. But that project turned out very nice, Bill, from what I can see here, and you know, I'm calling it my favorite right now until that bridge goes in on Mckee.
Yep, you'll have to make a point of just driving down there to come to work in the morning.
I just gotta grow. I can probably make that happen. Bill,
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time as always. Keep up the good work. I know you got a lot on your plate, so thank you for taking the time, and we'll check back in with you next week.
All right, thanks, Andrew. No,
All right.
you're Jeremy.
Unbelievable. You're not allowed to make any mistakes, Bill. Unlike this guy who can make many mistakes. That is Bill Balke, your director of public. I told you, he's a busy guy, so he doesn't need to remember my name. They all like Andrew. Remember that. All right, we'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.
All right.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Oh,
hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from Hy-Vee, it's Andrea, our dietitian for Fact TV. We love it. Andrea, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful because it's Dairy Month, and we're going to be talking about everything dairy on this segment, and those of you who can't tolerate the dairy, we'll even go into that. Very excited. But let's dive in here, and I think I know the answer to this question, gallon. But how much milk do I need to drink as an adult?
Yes, very good question, because that changes quite a bit. So when we were kids, we could, we were chugging gallons of milk, glass of milk at every meal with yogurt and cheese. As adults, we don't need as much. The good news is dairy products are very efficient. They're very nutrient dense, so we don't need a whole lot of amount to get the nutrition that we need. So we're talking varying by the person, 2 to 3 cups of milk or milk equivalent. So equivalent, for instance, is 1.5 ounces of cheese, just to give you an example, is about a 1/2 cup equivalent of milk. And that's based off the nutrition that each food provides.
I don't know if I'm happy with that answer. That's not,
I know.
Tell that to the kids who seem to just drink milk like it's water, which I just can't believe. But as far as you don't seem to tolerate milk as well as kids do. As you get older, does the body change? It can be harder to process the dairy?
Yeah, it kind of does. So lactose intolerance is the #1 food intolerance for adults, actually. And so it's very, very common. And what that means is throughout time, we either lose the enzyme, basically, which is called lactase, that breaks down the sugar lactose. So, so it's a very common occurrence as we simply age, but it can also be sloughed off, if we have an illness or if we get sick or something like that. So in general, it's very common for adults to not tolerate specifically the sugar in dairy. So lactose intolerance isn't an allergy. They're not allergic to dairy, so that's the good news. And it's a little bit easier to manage. The intolerance is a little easier to manage.
And if we're looking at milk, maybe you don't care for milk. Maybe you like other dairy products. Can you just eat the yogurt and cheese and still get what you need out of the dairy category?
Yep, you sure can. So the way that the dairy group works is the nutrition comes from milk or foods made with milk. So that's where you can consume and get the nutrition by either drinking milk, fluid milk, eating cheese, or eating yogurt. So for instance, those that are lactose intolerant, they may not tolerate fluid milk, but the products that are made with milk don't have as much lactose. So for instance, cheese, almost all of the lactose is removed when we process cheese. And so most people that are lactose intolerant can eat cheese without a problem, especially hard cheeses, because there's practically no lactose left in hard cheeses. And then you have the whole other category of cultured milk. So yogurt, kefir, the culturing process actually eats up the lactose or that sugar, and so our body doesn't have to digest it. So even those that are lactose intolerant and those that don't prefer to drink milk may get their nutrition from yogurt or kefir or the cheese, and that's, you know, a fine amount to consume without having to drink the actual fluid milk.
Well, I can contest to this exactly, because my father-in-law can't tolerate milk, but boy, does that guy eat cheese. And, there's no problem there. So it definitely is good to know, but definitely it works. I like this point of drinking chocolate milk after exercising. How do those two even pass?
Right. How does that make sense? Yes. So actually, you know, milk, and cow's milk specifically, is really packed with nutrition. There's 9 essential nutrients that we can only get through food. And with that, there's protein in milk. It's a very good source of protein. There's natural carbohydrates, so that natural sugar has nutrition attached to it. And then there's sodium and potassium in milk, and those are 2 electrolytes. So when we exercise or sweat, we need to replenish the electrolytes. We need to take in protein to rebuild our muscles, and then we need to replenish our carbohydrate. So milk has all of those included. So that's why you'll hear it so much. And chocolate milk specifically, if you do a hard workout, you really deplete your body of carbohydrates, and the sugars that are in chocolate milk bring you back really quickly. So it's just kind of a well-rounded response after a workout. Maybe not so much if you just, you know, go out and walk your dog casually, but if you're sweating or have, you know, you play a game of tennis, or, you know, you have a pretty, you know, hard workout, it is a good, very easy replenishment. You don't need a specific sports drink or powders or anything like that.
I don't know if I could tolerate it, to be honest. I don't know if it would work for me or not. So personally, but hey, I think it's a great alternative. I'd love to see instead of a electronic drink, just a big glass of chocolate milk.
It's a great option for kids, you know, when they play hard, or so they don't have, you know, they don't have to do supplements or, you know, that kind of thing. They can have a glass of milk, and it's a good replenishment.
Yeah, and I think it's easy for any kid really to give them chocolate milk. They'll be very, very happy about that. All right, let's transition now into, so maybe you do have that intolerance to milk. It's just causing you the problems. We're seeing a lot of development in the plant-based milk. Tell me a little bit about this.
Sure. So plant-based milk, it's a very interesting category because it's really booming. I mean, you'll see a milk made out of anything, you know, these days. And so, so plant-based milks have nothing to do with cows. So I'll lay that out there. They are completely lactose-free. Okay. But with that, they really do pale in comparison to the nutrition that's in cow's milk or in dairy food. So that's one thing that I like people to know. It's not bad to drink them. It's just, I don't want people to think they're getting the same nutrition from a plant-based milk that they are from dairy milk, because it's not the same. Mainly the protein is completely different. The calcium is usually added in if it doesn't exist naturally. And then there's other nutrients that might not come along with whatever plant, whether it be oat, rice, almond, whatever it is being used to make that milk. So it's a very important distinction to make. In fact, there's a labeling situation going on very similar to juice labeling laws a few years ago, where if you can recall, when you go to the store, you'll see either 100% juice or juice beverage or juice drink. They're doing a similar kind of thing with milk. And what that is, it's to protect the consumer. So they know if something says milk beverage, that it's not real milk. It's not cow's milk. It doesn't have the same nutritional profile. So that's why you'll see things like oat milk beverage or almond drink and not almond milk anymore or coconut milk anymore, because it doesn't match up to cow's milk.
Yeah, that would be a kind of a bummer if you thought you were getting milk this whole time and then it's not really the case.
Right.
Real quick, I didn't leave you a lot of time for the lactose-free milk, but just quickly, is lactose, is it milk?
It is milk, yeah. So lactose-free milk, if it's lactose-free dairy milk, it's milk that comes from cows, has all the nutrition. There's just an added enzyme to help with digestion so you're not uncomfortable. So you could eat the foods naturally, like cultured milk that will digest better without lactose, but you could do lactose-free dairy. There's also an emerging type of milk called ultra-filtered milk, which also has the lactase enzyme, so it's good for people with lactose intolerance as well.
I'll just tell you this, that father-in-law made some homemade ice cream with the lactose-free milk in it.
Yeah.
You would never know. You really would never know the difference.
Yep, it's the same thing.
All right, Andrea, thank you so much. I wish we had more time to talk here, but I appreciate the time, and you can stop by and visit Andrea at one of the Hy-Vees here in the Madison area. Andrea, we'll talk to you later this month.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break. You are watching Talking Fitchburg.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things.
2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks.
Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator.
My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school.
Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So. I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Wrapping up the show for the day. I want to thank you for tuning in and thank our guests, Bill Balke, your Public Works Director, and Andrea from Hy-Vee helping us out today. Remember to stay connected with Fact TV. We've got all the media outlets out there for you. We're on cable TV. We're on the over-the-top television, or top boxes, however you want to say it. That's Roku, Apple TV, and of course online at fitchburgwi.gov. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe out there.